Liverpool takes on Atalanta today as we finish off the first round of Champions League matches. Atalanta comes out in a 3-4-1-2. Out of possession, they set up in a 5-2-1-2 or 5-3-2. Liverpool sets up in their traditional 4-3-3. So moments that occurred consistently throughout the match was what I would call opposite movement. So what we would see is that as the center back would be playing the ball out into the fullback, we would have one of the higher players, one of the front three, who look to position themselves either on the back three or in between the spaces if Jota had dropped. Position, he would drop, and with this movement, because the wing backs of Atalanta were so tight to the fullbacks, we could have a midfielder making a run from deep, or if Jota was still high, he'd peel in behind. With this type of movement, Liverpool were deadly because with Atalanta's back three, they were playing higher up the pitch and leaving the most deadly areas that Liverpool like to attack in, the space in behind and these channels for their wingers to utilize their speed. Another example of opposite movement is that the ball gets played from this fullback into the midfielder, and as this midfielder has the ball, Jota drops in, pulling out this center back, gets in behind again. Another way we're able to capitalize on the man orientation of Atalanta's defending is that if Jota did drop into here, what we would be seeing is that one of the other midfielders would be positioning higher. What that would force the midfield of Atalanta to do was either push up the wing backs to defend the fullbacks, thus leaving this space in behind for the wingers, or allow them to stay in tight and then give our fullbacks the ability to move on. When out of possession, Liverpool showed much more patience with their back line as well as their press. At times, you would see their traditional press trying to win it off the back three, but as we've mentioned in other videos, playing against the back three, their type of press is not as successful because you have the numbers here as well as those two inside. And honestly, they did a better job sitting in a high to medium block, so sitting roughly about in this area. What they would do is as the ball would be played from this center back out into here, it would be the normal press, but he wouldn't be pressing so much to win the ball. He'd be pressing to deny space. As he would press, would look to deny the wing back, midfielder would slide over, Jota would slide, Henderson would slide, Jones would slide. And in doing so, they denied them the ability to play inside as well as out into this wing back. And if they were able to play out into the wing back, he's isolated, and then that's where they could press. A way that Atalanta probably could have done a better job of putting more pressure on these two center backs is their two center forwards. They traditionally put themselves right on top of the center backs, which makes sense when you have support on the ball. But with only having a 2-1, it's much more difficult to support this second ball. And these wing backs didn't look to come inside to connect. So all in all, Atalanta lacked a lot of structure, both out of possession, and then in possession, there wasn't a cohesiveness to work together to build the ball up. This is Liverpool's best match of the season so far for me. Comment and let me know what you think. Do you think this is the tide turning for Liverpool to really get rolling now, both in the Champions League and the Premier League?